Hello, welcome back to Paul's Stuff. This is my space on YouTube where I get to talk about all the things I love. Lots of Star Wars, lots of lightsabers, and today is a lightsaber video. It's another, it's kind of a review and a how-to video. So I recently found a new set of sound files called the Professor. It's available from Vire Sabers. I'll leave a link in the description to where you can buy this. But it's not a sound font. It's a set of system sounds for Xeno3. So I thought I'd give it a try. As I say, it's not a sound font. It alters those sort of menu announcements and things that you have on a Xeno3 Pixel when you press the button, or a Xeno3 baselet. And what this one does, it takes some of those sounds and makes them sound like Professor Huyang. As we've just heard him in the new Ahsoka series, and of course from the Clone Wars animated series. So it doesn't replace all of the system sound files, but it replaces a lot of them. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to put this sound package onto my Ahsoka Rebels lightsaber. I'm going to show you how to do that on the computer, and then we're going to come back and look at what that sounds like on the saber once it's on the saber. So yeah. It's a new idea. I've not seen this done before by anyone. I've put custom sounds onto my system sounds. The system sounds are all the sounds that are in your settings folder on your SD card on your Xeno3 saber. I've played with them myself. I've put custom charging sounds, and I've put custom power on and power off sounds. All of my sabers now have quotes from the character that owned the saber as the power on and power off sounds. So you'll see that a little bit in the video on the computer. I'll show you where those are. But this is a complete package that allows you to change a lot of the sounds on your in your settings folder for sounds that have the voice of Professor Huyang. So without further ado, let's go and have a look at the computer and see how we put this file on. As I say, from Vire Sabers. It's called the Professor. It's produced by the Shadewalker workshop. I'll leave a link in the description to where you can buy it. But let's now go to the computer, have a look at what's in the folder and how you put it onto your Xeno3 saber. Here we are at the computer. We're going to take a look at how to put this new custom system sound file onto my Ahsoka Rebels Xeno3 lightsaber. So as you can see, we have the folder already downloaded here. This is the Professor folder. So this is the files that you will get when you buy this folder. And anyone who's familiar with Xeno3 will recognize straight away that this is pretty much all of the contents for the settings folder that you get in on a Xeno3 SD card. So this isn't a sound font, as I mentioned earlier. This is not a sound font. It's custom sounds for the system sounds on your Xeno3. So it's available on the Vire Sabers website. There'll be a link in the description to where you can buy it. It's been put together by the Shadewalker workshop, and it's a great idea. So what it does, it takes those system sounds that that play when you go through menus and things on your Xeno3, and it gives you custom sounds to put on them instead. So what we'll do first of all is take a quick look at, just going to pop in my SD card from my Ahsoka Rebels lightsaber. So this is the SD card for my Ahsoka saber, and we want to go into the settings folder, and immediately you can see these two folders look the same. But if we click on here, this is the standard sound from the settings folder.
App connected.
And what you're buying with this sound set is custom sounds to replace some of these.
Connected to datapad.
So now you can see that app connected.
App connected.
Is now going to be replaced with Huyang's voice.
Connected to datapad.
I love that. Connected to datapad. It's not all of them. The battery level is the same. It's mainly the menu items that come up.
Standard ignition.
Standard mode.
Okay, so you have all of these in here. Now, I mentioned that I already have some custom sounds in my setting folder, and we're going to go right the way down to the files that say power, and we're going to look for power on and power off. These are the sounds that play whilst you are turning your saber on from deep sleep, or turning it back into deep sleep, switching it back off into deep sleep again. So the new Huyang ones are sounds that sound like a saber going on. What I have on all of my sabers is actually quotes from the character.
I am no Jedi. May the Force be with you.
So I'm going to keep those two. But all the other files I'm just going to copy across to here. So I'm going to go into the Professor folder and select all, and then I'm going to deselect power off and power on because I don't want those two. And then going to copy, and I'm going to go up to my settings folder on my SD card, and I'm going to paste those items in. And in a moment the computer will ask me what I want to do because there are duplicates. It's going to take a moment because it's copying to an SD card. This is a great idea. I've not ever seen this done before as a purchasable sound set. I've put custom sounds on myself, but the idea of having a whole custom sound set for this is really good. There we go. So it's now asking me what I want to do, and I'm going to apply to all, and I'm going to replace those folders, those sound files. It's going to take a little while to put those across. There are a lot of files to copy across to your SD card. It may take a moment to go across. I think there are 435 files in the Professor folder. As you can see, this is counting down. This will be done in a moment, and we'll take a look at what has happened. You can speed this process up a little bit by buying a higher quality card for your Xeno3 lightsaber. This particular one, I'm using the standard card. That's why it's so slow. I use a SanDisk SD card, SanDisk Ultra, up to 32 gigabytes. They transfer files across fairly well, a reasonable amount quicker than this. This is taking a little bit of time because the file transfer rates on the standard SD cards that come from Nexus aren't so great. But we're nearly done. And we're done. So now we can forget about the Professor folder for a moment. When I come up here, I've still got my...
May the Force be with you.
My quotes for power on and
I
power
am
off.
no Jedi.
But also now we've copied across the sound files that include the Professor Huyang ones. So ready is the sound that gets played when the battery is ready.
Power cell energized.
We've now got Huyang saying power cell energized. If we go back up to the top, we'll have Huyang here.
Connected to data pad. Standard ignition. Velocity blade. Torch blade.
Blade styles. The app connected is obviously what gets said when he connects to the Xeno configurator app on your phone.
Connected to data pad.
Connected to data pad. I love that. Silly little things please me. One other one that I'll play you because I won't be able to demonstrate it on the lightsaber particularly. You notice here the config file, that is still exactly the same. That's still set up for my Ahsoka lightsabers. So if we go into that, you'll be able to see this has my my custom setup there. I was looking for the charging. Here we go.
Energizing power cell.
Again, you've got Huyang there. So, yeah, that's all we need to do. So, welcome back. Hopefully you can see that's a relatively easy process to put this sound set onto your Xeno3. And it gives you these Professor Huyang quotes or menu announcements, really. You've already heard the sound it makes where in the computer part of the video. I've already showed you the sound it makes when it connects to the Xeno configurator app, when you're charging and when the battery's ready. I won't be showing you those now, but I'll try and run through as much of the rest of what's on here as I can. So as you saw on the computer, my sabers all have custom power on and power off sounds, which are quotes from the character. So this saber will have a quote from Ahsoka when I turn it on in a moment. If you want the sounds that come with the Professor folder, you just copy the whole folder across. You don't need to isolate out those power on, power off sounds. I did because I wanted to retain my own custom sounds on that. So this is my custom power on sound for this saber.
I am no Jedi.
And the saber works as normal. I've put a 28-inch blade in here so that you can see the blade more easily in frame. Normally it has a 36 in it, but the 26 is there just to give you an idea of what it's like with the blade illuminated and things as well. But we're more interested in the sounds. So the first one I'm going to show you is the volume. So the volume is one bleep or one button flash with the blade off.
Minimum
And we've got Professor Huyang announcing the volume settings.
Maximum volume.
Okay, and then we go through the ignition styles and the blade styles. I think it's the ignition styles, which are, it's the blade styles rather, which are 2 bleeps on the button.
Flashing blade. Flame blade. Steady blade.
So you can see Professor Huyang is announcing all of these now.
Unstable blade. Rainbow blade. Candy blade.
And these all work. So, as before, everything still works as before. All you've done with these files is change the sounds that are being played when the different menu items are triggered.
Cracked blade. Pulsing blade.
Pulsing blade is what I had this set on. And if we allow 3 bleeps on the button, again, you can set the bleeps on the configurator app. If you've got an illuminated button, the button will also flash. But 3 bleeps changes the ignition styles.
Broken ignition.
And again, everything works as before.
Photon ignition.
You just have Huyang now announcing these things.
Stack ignition. Warp ignition. Phaser ignition. Scavenger ignition. Hunter ignition. Standard ignition.
And we're back to where my blade normally sits on this saber. So next we've got things that announcements that happen when the blade is on. This is really only blade colour, and for that we need 2 bleeps while the blade is ignited.
Blade color.
Again, we've got Huyang now announcing the blade colour. The blade colour's changing, and when we get to a blade colour that we like, I'm going to pick something nice and bright. Oh, we've gone back to white. Okay. I was hoping for something red. But you can see the colours changing as normal. Here we go. There's something a bit brighter. There we go. Huyang says confirm. And now we've got a pinky red blade. And yeah, that's pretty much everything that this sound set gives you. It's so it's a new concept to me. I've not seen anyone release a custom sound set for the system files on the Xeno3. It's a great idea. You could have other characters announcing these things as well. I'm kind of hoping that more of them come about. The only thing we've got left to show on this now is my custom power off sound. So I'm going to turn the blade on and turn it off from there. So you hold the button
May the force be with you.
until you get that custom sound, and then that's gone back now into deep sleep mode. Nothing will work on the saber until I turn it back on again. So that is the Professor custom system sounds set, available from Vire Sabers. Be a link in the description to where you can buy it from them. It's been made by the Shadewalker workshop. Great idea, great sounds. I recommend it. Give it a try. It's relatively inexpensive, and it adds another layer of fun to your Xeno3 lightsaber. But for now, that's everything for today. So I hope you've enjoyed everything that you've seen today. Hope it's been useful for you as well. Please give it a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it or found it helpful. Consider subscribing to the channel. If you haven't already, if you hit the bell, that will tell you when I'm putting up new videos. But for now, that's everything for today. It just leaves me to say cheerio, everyone.